Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening of broadcast. The time now is 10:02 p.m. Southern California, and today is October 14th, 2025. Our conversation tonight is on the present state of our country, Nigeria. You know, when a farmer plants a seed on a fertile ground, what happens? That seed grows and begins to blossom to yield good crops. That was exactly what happened in 1958 during the era of Tafa Balewa. An evil seed was planted in Nigeria that became an evil wind that blows no good. That seed, evil seed, planted in Nigeria was quota system. You know, it was introduced by the government of Tafa Balewa to address the imbalance between the north and the southern regions, particularly in the public service and education. You know, fast forward. After Tafa Balewa era, it got to Ironsi, then to Gowan. You know, the good thing about Gowon is he's still very much alive. General Gowon, has not apologized to Nigerians. Buhari, as bad as he was, before he passed away, as he was handing over to Tinubu, he apologized to Nigerians that they should forgive him. Whether accepted or not, but he did. Gowon is still alive. He has not apologized to Nigerians for what he did to us. The 419ers that you see today is as a result of the product of the result of the mistakes that began from Tafa Balewa to Ironsi, to Gowon, to Obasanjo, and to the present day. The poor quality of education, Gowon has a hand in it. The hunger in this country, in Nigeria today, Gowon has a hand in it. And other evil vices that you see today. I will explain before you call me Mr. Big Mouth. In the 70s, there was early 70s, there was an oil crisis. But then Nigeria had an oil boom. And guess what? In 1973, Nigerian trade surplus went from 1.5 billion to $6 billion in 1974. This was from 1973. 1973, it was $1.5 billion. That was during oil crisis worldwide. But Nigeria made a surplus of 1.5 billion in 1973. Then in 1974, Nigeria had a surplus of $6 billion. And guess what Gowon administration said? They declared surplus. Nigerians don't know. The problem now is we don't know how to spend our money. We don't know. The money is so much, we don't know how to spend this money. At this point in time, in the 70s, ask General Gowon, how many roads are there? Motorable roads do we have in Nigeria then? Ask General Gowon how many schools we have then. Ask General Gowon the standard of living of an average Nigeria then. Ask General Gowon how many people, especially when I say people, those who live in the rural areas, in the villages, do they live a decent life that you don't know what to do with this money? We're heading somewhere, sorry. Then it came to Obasanjo's turn. Obasanjo invited the whole world to come and feast in Nigeria. I was a kid then, 1977. Festac 77 for most of you. The grown ones then might know exactly what I'm talking about. You see, this Festac that we have today was built during that period to host the world, letting them know that Nigeria has money. And guess what? The world came. My rat went inside house. They tell the one outside, say food today. And shortly after that visit, Nigeria has never been the same anymore. After that Festac 77, Nigeria has not been the same anymore. That quota system that was instituted by Tafa Balewa's administration to curb the imbalance in the public and educational sector. Of course, when I know say yes, the northerners then were behind. The eastern and the western were, you know what I mean? They were the educated ones then. The north was highly behind. You know, so that was why that quota system was introduced. But if you see the danger of that quota system today, who are the people managing our economy, managing our resources, managing our lives? Is this uneducated people. The qualified ones, the ones who know what to do and how to do it, are never given the opportunity. Because of what? Quota system. A governor, most of you, I was a kid, I was still very young. I think I was in the primary school then. When, no, I was already in a high school. Yeah, I think maybe class 2 or 3 in the secondary school. Was when a governor, he was a senator first, before he became the Kano State governor. His name is Bakinzuwo. Every Nigerian know who I'm talking about. He was asked the mineral resources in the state. And he was proud to tell the journalists, oh yeah, we have a lot. We have Fanta, we have Coke, we have Sprite, we have ginger ale, we have for mineral resources. When a bad seed is planted, what happens on a good soil? Even when the seed, it is not going to grow well. But when a good seed is planted on a good soil, it's going to blossom. What I'm basically saying is, follow the administration of Tafawa Balewa to Ironsi, to Obasanjo, to go on to Obasanjo, and what we have today. There has never been any competent leader to steer the ship, Nigeria, into the right direction. And the sad part is it does not bother any one of these people in position. It does not bother them. It's even worse now. You know, that somebody, you have a PhD holder in economics, masters in a chartered accountant, qualified and well-qualified Nigerians, well-learned, who know what to do, but they are never given the opportunity to serve. Instead, I'm going to digress a little bit. Whoever that is going to get upset, you can get upset. But the truth must be told. You see our Senate, we have two classes of persons in that Senate. The ones suffering from bipolar and the ones that suffers from Alzheimer's. Ask me how. How do you know? Their actions. The ones that have Alzheimer's are the ones that keep repeating the same thing. Before they went in there, before they got there, they made a promise to right the wrongs, to do the right things. But as soon as they get there, what happens? They forget. Some of them don't even know their names. Watch their body language whenever they congregate. Watch their actions. And the bipolar ones are those ones that are ready to take another opposition lives when you don't agree with them, because they are always in that maniac state. I'm not going to mention their names, but if you study them, you will see. Sorry if your papa is one of them. I don't care. Nigeria doesn't belong to your father alone. It belongs to every single one of us. What belongs to every one of us is some group of elements feasting on it, making life uncomfortable, not for me, but for the children unborn. And you don't want me to talk about it. If their wives, because the problem that we have, why this thing continue to go on and on, is because we've never had a good Senate. It's true. Because they are the policy-making body. They decide what has to be done in the country. If ever we have had a standard and a basic Senate, Nigeria won't be where it is today. All we have continued to have are sick people who should be resident in an extended care or a convalescent homes. Yet these are people making decisions for us. When matters of importance are being discussed, watch their behavior, watch their body language, watch their actions. They are laughing. That is when one of them would stand up and wander to his colleague and begin to have a side conversation, telling you. What does that tell you? Is that a behavior of a sane person? Most of the time you see them laughing. Is that a behavior of a sane person? Somebody who is not mentally challenged. Is that how they behave? Matters of importance, and you see them laughing, making jokes. None of them ever look serious. If we don't dismantle this quota system, you might say it's been dismantled. No, it hasn't been. That is still what is still in place today. We are criminals, are the chosen ones. Ibori has been pardoned by President Tinubu. When Ibori was in Nigeria, nobody was able to convict him. He was a saint until he stepped out of the shores of Nigeria and he became a criminal. What he did in Nigeria and what he did in London caught up with him. Mariam, what's her name? Bill Yamin, the one who killed, murdered, planned and murdered her husband, has been pardoned. It took the court a great deal to be able to convict that woman for killing somebody's son who happens to be the husband. Tinubu went ahead and pardoned a murderer. What are you telling Nigerians? That it is okay to kill, to take another man's life. The innocent Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, languishing for speaking and fighting for Nigerians. Call him all sorts of names. IPOB, ESN. No, he did not start that way. He believed in Nigeria, was fighting for Nigeria. When the fight from the Buhari administration took a different dimension, and that was when he said, okay, since you people don't want one Nigeria, then let me speak on behalf of my people. That was what gave birth to IPOB. All this history, when they falsify. Thank God for social media. We go right all the wrongs. Put in so much money there. Give your press so much money to do that damage control and continue to talk rubbish online. We will come out and debunk it and tell the world the truth. How many of them again? 175 inmates pardoned, including Boko Haram members, bandits. These are murderers who have murdered Nigerians. IDP camps everywhere, all over the country. You pardon them and you're keeping Nnamdi Kanu just because he's an Igbo man. One thing about life is nobody lives forever. None, not a single one of us, is going to live forever. Where is Buhari today? Where is Onakbasa? A few months ago, was telling Tinubu how he was going to stop him in 2027. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Nnamdi Kanu has lost, the father died while he was in prison. The mom died while he was in prison. This man is innocent. The court has set him free. You decide to keep him just because of some disgruntled element from the north. Those ones, when they buy certificate, even them, nobody lives forever. All this money that you people are looting, you continue to borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow, Mr. Tinubu. A country that declared a surplus in the 1974, today is borrowing money all over the world. Why? Because of poor management. Putting people who are not supposed to be in a certain positions in that position. That is basically why we are where we are today. Unqualified. At the time, it was, what do they call it? They say IMM. Igbo man will say Imamado, you know. The other tribes will say who you know. Not by merit, not by qualification. And look at where it has gotten us to. Truth is never told in that country. This pattern put in place is a pattern since 1958 to the present day. It's a pattern. Something you have done for decades. It hasn't worked. And you're still doing it. And you're telling me you're a sane human being. No, my dear. Now make me tell when I say, half of when I get Alzheimer's and half get bipolar. Because only Alzheimer's person, they know what they do. Sometimes they even forget their names. The bipolar, I can tell you, the ones that have bipolar, there in that Senate, because of their action. People who have no business there are the people there. Umahi was insulting Rufai. Sorry, my Igbo brother. You have to apologize to Rufai. Rufai did you no wrong. All he wanted was accountability. You told him that you can school him as an engineer, but you don't want to be schooled as a journalist. You are not in my category. Says who? You a small boy. Really? I'm going to end this broadcast here. Tomorrow is another day. My duty and the duty of the rest of other Nigerians is to keep informing other Nigerians who do not know. Teach them what they don't know. They might not grasp it now, but in a few years, they may, or they will. But most importantly, for the generation unborn, they need to know the truth. The Western media has done Nigeria a lot of damage. Take it to the bank. All these misinformations, misrepresentations, flying all over that country, Nigeria, is as a result of the power of the Western media. It's time we tell our story. I say it one more time. It's time we tell our story by ourselves. And on this note, I say good night from here. Good night to the youths of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and may God help every one of you to seek for knowledge, to seek for the truth, and free yourself from this bondage. Good night and God bless.